A lot of people are saying that coding is dead because of AI and things like that, but I still believe that coding is alive and well, and it's definitely not dead. Here's the thing. If you're a software engineer and you're very, very skilled at what you do, and you have senior level type skills, there's so many routes that you can go. Yes, you can be an employee and work for a big tech company, obviously, and it's going to be harder to get in right now because they're laying off a lot of the programmers and software engineers because of AI. And yes, of course, it's easier to develop software and create software because of AI, and that's why they need less software engineers. But there's so many different opportunities. You can get into freelancing, you can become a creator. There's so many different avenues that you can take. You don't have to just work for a big tech company and spend 40, 50 hours a week working for a big tech company as a software engineer. Yes, it's going to be harder to get into these companies. Most of these companies like Google and Facebook, what are they doing? Well, be an expert at LeetCode, basically. Be an expert at LeetCode, and you're going to get into one of these companies. There's going to be some requirements. You want to work for Facebook or Google, obviously you're probably going to have a computer science degree, and you need to be really, really good at LeetCode and solving problems. Now, obviously, you're going to always have to be good at solving problems if you're going to be a software engineer, if you're going to be a good software engineer. But if you're going to get into one of these companies, you're going to have a computer science degree and be a master at solving LeetCode problems. That's really it. The thing that you have to understand is that these companies, they don't have a lot of time. These interviews, I'm guessing a big company like Facebook, Google, you're going through a few interviews. Like there's probably 3 interviews you're going to go through before you get hired on. Or you're going to have to get through 3 interviews before you get hired on. And the reason why they like to use LeetCode to determine if you're a good software engineer or not is because it's fast, it's quick. That interview is not that long, especially the technical interview. It's not going to be that long, and they need to know right away within the next, 30 minutes to an hour if you know what you're doing, and if you're going to, you know what I'm saying? So it can't be like, well, code me a full stack application. Okay, you got 4 hours, but they only got about an hour. That technical interview is not that long, and they need to know right away if you know what you're doing and if you know your stuff. So that's why you're going to solve LeetCode problems and stuff in that technical interview. I'm pretty sure you are. They're not going to ask you, what is a React prop? You're not going to get those kind of questions. What is a React prop? What is prop drilling in React? You're not going to get those kind of questions. It's going to be LeetCode. It's going to be, are you good with data structures and algorithms, and so on and so forth. So I kind of went on a tangent, but as I was saying, you can become a freelancer, you can do freelance work, you can launch a startup. There's so many different avenues you can take. You don't have to be an employee and be a W-2 wage earner. There's so many different things that you can do to make money as a software engineer. It's going to be harder. It's going to be harder to get hired on to these big tech companies. It's just going to be more difficult to work for a Facebook or a Google as a software engineer. Right now, they're laying off software engineers left and right. So if you're mid or senior level, it's going to be easier to get into these companies. It's going to be easier to work for Facebook if you worked for Google in the past as a software engineer, if you have that on your resume. So it's going to, you know what I'm saying? If you're fresh out of college with a computer science degree, it's going to be difficult to get hired on to Facebook and Google. It really is. And you have the competition. You got so much. The competition is stiff, obviously, because everybody wants to work for one of those big tech companies because you make really good money. You work for a Facebook or Google is even a mid-level or like a junior level software engineer, you're making $150,000 to $200,000 a year starting. I'm pretty sure you're making that kind of money right from the beginning. So that's why it's so difficult to work for these companies, these big tech companies, these big FANG companies. And you got the competition. So you're competing with a ton of other computer science graduates. So yes, there's freelancing. There's obviously you can launch your own startup, and there's some difficulties in that because you got to have some seed capital. You got to know what you're doing. You got to hire the right people. So, but there's always different avenues. I'm going to be a creator. I'm a creator right now. I do want to launch my own startup. There's other things that I want to do. So really mainly a creator right now on YouTube, and I'm doing tutorials and just videos like this. So that's the avenue I'm going to take. I do a little freelancing on the side on Fiverr and on Upwork. So there's so many different avenues that you can take. And the thing is, coding is not dead, but you need to be a very good coder. You got to be a very, very good coder. You can't just understand the basics like JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. Now that's definitely a requirement, but you need to know a little bit of React, and there's TypeScript. You got it. Data structure and algorithms, they're still important. You got to understand that stuff. Solving LeetCode problems, it can't hurt you. It can help. It can help, even if you just build applications. Understanding LeetCode problems or being able to solve LeetCode problems is a good skill. Data structures, algorithms, all sorts of good stuff. So, yes, coding is definitely not dead. It is alive and well. But the way you do things, you're going to have to do things differently. You can't just be like all the other software engineers out there and just understand the basics and just have okay, you got a computer science degree. That's good. That's awesome. You understand the fundamentals, but you got to go deeper than that. You got to understand there's a lot to learn: front end, back end, APIs, how to solve problems. There's so much stuff to learn, but just keep learning, keep growing, keep studying, learn new things, and just code and build applications and just practice every single day. Don't miss a day. Don't miss one single day. Just keep going, keep practicing, keep learning, and you'll get to the top. But it's not going to be easy. But anything that's worth in life is not going to be easy. So hope you like my video. Let me know your thoughts. This is Tyrone Ratcliffe. I will talk to you later.